So we're a minute away, so you might as well post live, and
Yeah,
we'll just chitty chat until it actually turns 11, because that'll give me time to repost it in the group.
Give me one sec. Okay, I'm gonna go take it live, and we know how good I am at that.
So good.
And taking it live, people. Facebook.
We're live.
We're live. Are we live? Every time, people. Mine says live on Facebook. I don't know where it's starting or what's going on. Ooh, heart palpitations. I'm excited. We're live. This is Geek Speak, and today we're talking about VA stuff. Yeah, that's right. The topic is VAs, what they can do for you. So this week, as usual, we're going to go through the regular introductions of introducing ourselves, what we do, who we are, how we help people, and then we're going to go for that question of the week, people. That's a good question. And the question this week is, what is your favorite childhood TV show? What you watch as a kid? I know, right? And you think the panelists look confused, but they have every opportunity to read what the question was before. So if you're not prepared,
I like to be surprised.
right? Who doesn't want to be a surprise? So I'm going to introduce myself and then go into my Facebook page, because right now I'm on Zoom. So if you're leaving comments, preferably leave them in the group. But if not, we'll get to them somewhere, because we're trying this cross-posting feature, which is super cool. My name is Pip. I run Seymour Digital Media, and I help in Cyberpunk Geeks. And I help business owners and entrepreneurs understand search and social, mainly Google and Facebook, with a little bit of LinkedIn in there too. Anyway, my answer to my question of the week is, my favorite program as a kid was Fables of the Green Forest. I can still sing the entry tune. And funny enough, it was a Japanese cartoon. Who knew back in the day that in a small Canadian province you could get Japanese shows on cable television? Anyways, this song went something like this. The green forest, the stories you hear about all come to life. Anyway, that's me. And
That's fantastic.
Bit of a weirdo, and I sound like a dying cat when I sing. I'm okay with it. But let's move this along. I'm going to drop this over to, I think it's Wendy here. Why don't you do your intro, my dear?
Hi, my name is Wendy, and I am a virtual assistant, and my company is I help small businesses, that was easy to say, small businesses and entrepreneurs with the stuff on the back end of their business, all the administrative stuff that they don't really like to do, so that they can do stuff that they do like to do on the front end of their business. And oh my, putting us on the spot again, Pip. So I don't really know. I'd have to say, I'm going to throw it out there. It's super embarrassing. Scooby-Doo. Saturday morning cartoons. Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. I love Scooby-Doo. Yay, you. We have Dinah here. We have Jessica here. We have Mona here. Yay, everybody.
Hello, girls.
Yay. So chime in and tell us what your favorite program was when you were a kid. And we're going to take it over to, I think it's Greg.
Mm-hmm.
Greg.
Did you say Greg or Graham?
I said Greg.
Greg.
Oh,
Greg.
Grim and Greg sounds too much alike. Maybe.
No, it doesn't.
We'll have to get rid of me.
Right, you're gone.
My name is Greg, and I run Original 72 Creative, and we build websites, do graphic design, and internet marketing for small to medium-sized businesses. I think the theme of favorite show as a kid, obviously it's going to be a kids show. And the one I kind of remember that I really loved was Johnny Quest. Does anyone remember?
How old are you?
I
feel so old right now.
I think I used to watch it.
My kids watch that.
Lucinda's here, Sherry's here, and Lisa's here. Yay, thanks for joining. I will say, Jessica said she loved Mr. Rogers, and also Sharon Lois and Graham, Elephant Show. I love that. I used to have a record of that. That was, super cool. Greg, your show, I think I watched a couple times, but funny, you're the boy in the group, so you might have a different show than anyone would ever think, right? right? Because I did like the Smurfs too. That was my second go-to. Anyway, Grim, on
That's
to
a
you.
good one.
Right?
Okay, hi, I am Grim, and I am the owner of Tech with Grim, and I am the creator of now the Easy Peasy website, the website for the non-tech savvy. So my favorite cartoon was Tom and Jerry, but I was also a huge Bugs Bunny fan, and my nickname, Grim, actually comes from a gremlin in the Bugs Bunny cartoon called Falling Hair.
See, it was a good question this week. Yeah. Right? So we got Mona saying Johnny Quest. There you go. And Dinah saying Captain Kangaroo. I freaking love Captain Kangaroo. It's my favorite. Okay. So good question. Hey guys, if you have any questions like that you want to know about or answer or get the panelists to answer, drop them in, send me a private message because it's fun. I come up with them every week and sometimes it's a challenge. But this week's topic, all about the VA, what they can do for you. And it's a sympathetic relationship. If this is the first thing you might hire in your business as you grow. I know this, and I know Grim knows this, and I don't know about Greg, and I know Wendy does this. So we're gonna dive right in. I wanna hear opinions. I know Sherry, who's with us, has got a few to share, but I'm gonna drop this to the floor and shut up at first, and we're gonna let Wendy take the mic because she's our VA. She teaches VAs how to be VAs and entrepreneurs how to run businesses. So Wendy, tell us your scoop on why and what and where and when and how and all the rest of it. Yeah, and go.
Okay, so trying to put this in a nutshell. So I'll share with you a little bit about my why I became a VA and okay, so about 5 years ago, I was full-time employed about a half hour from my house. It used to take me almost 2 hours to get to work as a commute every day. I'm a single parent to a very lovely 9-year-old daughter who I love more than anything in the world. So shameless plug about my daughter. Anyways, she is, well, I gotta say, she's really my why. I was spending 3 hours a day in the car and I wasn't seeing her at all. I was dropping her off at the daycare and the before school and all that. So, and I wasn't getting the time off at work that I needed. And if she was sick, it was causing problems, or which is very rare, but just things like that. And, I started working for a real estate coach and I was a virtual assistant as an employee for her for some time. And, it started to occur to me, and there was a series of events that, anyways, that happened, but, that I could do this for myself and have my own business being a VA and whatnot. And so, yes, so I started Virtually Yours and being a virtual assistant for many different types of people, realtors, and I do stuff for counseling offices and all kinds of things. So people that don't necessarily want to have a full-time person working for them. Maybe they, either they can't afford it or it's just not needed to have someone in the office, 40 hours a week or whatever, but maybe they just need somebody 7 or 8 or 10 hours a month or whatever it ends up being. And so a virtual assistant is something that's super great for that because, you're not having to have all that overhead of having an employee, but you can still get the tasks that you need on the back end done. So that was my why in a super small, medium-sized nutshell.
I like that. So now all the tasks, like I know every business is different, right? When I do a marketing strategy for a business, they're using different CRMs and they're using, God, so many different things. Like you've seen my accounting, it's a little grassroots, right? But like, nice way to say it. Not disorganized at all, people. But that being said, like how if I'm going to become a VA, what kind of skills, or like if you guys are going to hire a VA, I want everybody to chime in here. Like what kind of skills do I want to have? And what kind of skills are you guys looking for if you're going to hire somebody? Like for me, admin, hate this stuff, man. Accounting specifically. So that's the first thing I'm going to hire out for. Kind of like, I'll hire a cleaning lady when I can afford it, kind of thing. So go.
Well, I don't know if you're asking everybody but I'll put in my 2 cents too. If you're looking to become a VA, I think the important thing is you want to establish what your niche is going to be. And that, it doesn't mean that you have to have a whole plethora of skills. You can take what you've got right now and build on top of that. So maybe, you're really good at just doing administrative tasks in Word and Excel and that kind of thing. And then you start to build on that. Maybe that's something that you really love. And that's the key, is if you're going to go into business for yourself and you're going to become a VA, let's say, you want to do the stuff that you love. You don't want to spend, when we go to an office, we spend 8 hours a day doing maybe some tasks that we love and lots that we don't. So you're going to build on what you love and market that to clients that, need those skills, right?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That being said, I guess that's a way you pick a VA then. Like, Graham, what would you hire for? Or Greg, what would you, what would you get a VA to do? Graham, I know you have somebody helping you that comes there, but if they were virtual, what would you?
Well, first I'm going to be looking at the things that either I'm not good at or waste my time in actually producing billable hours for my business. And then depending on what those things are, I'm going to search out some help to get those tasks complete. I've never looked for a VA. I've always done everything myself. For me, I don't know, Wendy probably comes across this with other business owners. I have a hard time giving up control of things. So I don't know if she can shed some light on what she can tell business owners about that in giving up control of certain things, and how you can work together efficiently. Because I've always felt myself that it's going to still take me a certain amount of time to relay the information that I need the VA to do so they can do it. So it's not like you're offloading completely everything you need to do with those tasks. There is still going to be some management. Like, the VA can't do their job if they don't know what you need them to do. So there's still something in there. I don't know if you want to speak to any of that.
Well, I want to jump in, and then I'm going to get Grim to jump in, and then Wendy, because I jump in. I heard that when you hire a VA, you have to carve out time for training and realize that things are going to take longer in the beginning, right? So that's a relationship, like kind of an agreement you come to, I guess, because you have to learn it. You should be paid for jumping into other people's stuff. I don't know. Wendy, what do you think? And Grim, then after Wendy gives her little opinion, you are dumping in here. Yeah.
Well, there's to answer that. Basically, in the beginning, before I start working with a client, I do a discovery call. And during that discovery call, I try and go over all the stuff that particular person is going to be looking for. That's included. There's no charge. It's sort of the initial thing. And that's where I go through the list of whatever they're, like I said, what they're looking for. A lot of it, most of it is stuff that I've done before when I'm, going to work for a client. And it's just really, everybody has maybe a slightly different way of doing things. So initially there is time spent, but not a whole lot. And it depends again. Maybe somebody does bookkeeping stuff, or I'm doing bookkeeping stuff for them, and there's just particular things that I'm not sure about. So we do try and carve out, maybe a half hour in the week or whatever, just to review. Or I'll work on the project that they've given me up until a certain point, and then there's questions type of thing. So that's going to be the same as anybody, right? Like if you're hiring an employee, you're going to have to train them to do the work that you've got them doing. But, for most VAs, if you're specializing in something for that particular client, the basic ins and outs of what you're doing, you'll mostly have down. It's just their specific little things, and it shouldn't take too long, but yes, some time is expected to work on that.
Interesting. And Grim.
So for me,
wait! I gotta get her to talk. It's killing me. It's just killing me a bit.
I actually have a comment on everything that was said. I'm Greg, like you.
Yeah, stop being so polite.
It's fine. Okay, look, I'm like Greg. I don't like to give over control on a lot of different things.
I could totally see that.
I also don't want to have to take the time to train somebody. So my assistant is a friend of mine who I have known for 25 years. So she comes in every once in a while, and what she does for me is, y'all know I make videos, lots of videos. I don't like writing stuff out. And she will either write out stuff from the videos, or she will go through the stuff that I've written out. And what she does, as she calls it, is she takes Grim out of it without taking Grim out of it. And what she means is I will repeat myself, and there's different things that I do. It's like she doesn't want to change it where it doesn't have my personality, but she wants to keep it from being 10 foot long and, shorten it up and then keep it to the point. And so she kind of goes back over things like that for me. And so that's how it helps me. So I've technically done it, and then she's going back over it, because once I've done it, I'm not going back to it. She knows I'm not. She'll be like, it's got typos in it. I'm like, they'll look over it. It's just like, no.
I'm wondering if Mona or Jessica or Sherry is going to chime in with opinions on what they'd get a VA to do for them if they had that opportunity.
I also wanted to add to the part about, the owners of the business handing stuff over. And I think that's where in the beginning, it's tough. There is some, pulling on both sides a little bit, but I think if you build a little bit of a relationship of trust, I think that's important.
Mm-hmm.
The client that you're working for, if they trust you, I'm thinking of one in mind that I have, and it was like that a little bit in the beginning. And she found that when she was trying to get involved, it was messing things up. So I was ending up spending more time untangling the things because she was trying to get back involved. And eventually she kind of just released control and said, okay, you know what? You got your hands on it. I trust you, and you've got control of the situation. And and that's the big thing. It's trust, right? And when the person trusts you, then they're able to let go a little bit.
Well, this would bring up a really good point, is that you can hire a VA for a few hours, but it sounds to me like when you hire a VA, because you're giving up something, and it's a committed relationship. It's something you don't want to live without eventually. I think it personally, and Greg, I don't know what you think, but I think personally it's the first step on your way to getting your first employee. That's just how things I think are going to transition. I think we'll have a lot of people doing contract work, but then I think one day we will have a full-time employee. And I think this is the beginning, is hiring a VA. Now that's just me.
I think a little bit, but I'm gonna use the example I maybe mentioned a little bit earlier of a realtor, for example. I don't know that most realtors ever really do have a full-time person, and a lot of them see the value in just hiring somebody to do the feature sheets and postcards and out into the neighborhood and update listings and do stuff with leads, right? And it's just or maybe posting on social media and whatever, and it may just be 7 or 8 hours a month, and that's always what it will be, and so there are people that are genuinely like that. I have 2 or 3 clients that are like that, and they will never hire a full-time employee. There are some, though, yes, that eventually will, because they are growing their business. But there are some that just, the VA, and especially once they realize what they can save on not having, a full-time or even part-time person. Yes, the dollar amount hourly or project-wise or whatever, a retainer up front might be more than what it would be to hire an employee, but you're not having to pay for all the extras, right? The overhead of having office space, the, hiring a person to do all their payroll, the vacation time that you got to pay them, all these things that add up when you have an employee, right? So
it's a very good point. Greg, have you ever worked with a VA?
I have not. No.
Do you want one?
At the moment, I'm not looking for one.
No. Would you hire one if you could? Like, you don't write blog posts, maybe they could do your blog posts.
Again, it depends on, what the tasks that need to get done, and if I don't want to do them, and whether I want to pay someone else to do them.
Graham, well, okay, so what would you like, Graham, what would be your first hire? Like what that person's already doing?
Yeah, because she's not steady. So that'll be the first investment I make.
See, I guess there's 2 ways to look at it. Like
as far as hiring out.
Initially, I was thinking when you said, it's a step into your first hire. I didn't think of it like that, because typically I was thinking the tasks that you're having a VA do for you are more administrative things. And typically your first hire is probably not going to be an administrative person. It's going to be like for my business as web design, web development. I'm probably my first hire is not going to be someone to full-time hire is not going to be someone to help me with that type of stuff. It's going to be I'm busy and I can't do the amount of design or the amount of websites that I can handle.
Yeah,
So
load
I'm going to hire a
websites or
person
tests.
to do that. And
Interesting. I
and
think
then
that's
so on the other side of that, so that's where I was coming from when you said that initially. But now I kind of think, well, it is possible, obviously, for me to have another guy on contract doing some graphic design or web development for me. And you can consider that a virtual assistant, I guess. A VA can do anything, I guess. I mean, I remember talking to Wendy a couple of weeks back in our one-on-ones, and she was explaining in more detail what VAs are and what they can do. And she made me realize basically I'm a VA. It's just that what I'm doing for company is outsourcing their graphic design and web development and marketing. You know, they don't have the capacity of having a full-time person in their business to do this. So they've hired or contracted me to do it for them. Basically, that's what a VA is. And I never thought of myself as that, but I could.
Well, that's the thing. So here is really interesting material to talk about, which is what the hell does a VA do? Because there are so many jobs. Like, yeah, you could, but you'd be a VA with a specialty with graphic design and websites, right? When there's accounting, and I know, like, I do marketing management. I help people with the back ends of their websites. Wendy does blog posts. Like, you know, I'm managing people's websites and social media. That's a VA. So virtual assistant just means you're not there and you're assisting. It could be like a personal assistant. It could be tech assistant. It could just be, you know, counselor. Are you a counselor sometimes, Wendy? Is that part of it? Yeah. Business counselor, coach. Yeah, baby.
I think that would go into coaching more than it would be in a VA position.
I don't know, because I do business coaching for a client that I have in town, and some of it's just because, you know what, nice lady, she has a cleaning business. I should be careful, but she has a cleaning business, and so she knows how to clean houses and she knows how to hire staff mostly. But there's things, you know, little things about getting a resume and going through references and where to post advertising and, you know, just certain things about their hours and HR stuff. Like, I've got a lot of experience with HR stuff. So I do coach her on all of those things. She carries out all the tasks on her own, but she'll call me up and say, oh, I don't know what to do about this, or how do I handle that? And I help her with that. And that's part of the services that I offer to her is a small business coach. And I have another person who's got a hairdressing business and she's never hired staff. So I had to walk her through the whole process of doing that. She did tasks, but it was coaching her on how to do it. So yes, being a virtual assistant can involve being somewhat of a small business coach too, right?
Many hats.
Yeah.
I'll say
I do that in my support membership, but my website's more like a product than, because they're already set. They're made to be easy and simple and for someone that's new. So unlike Greg's, which are custom designed per client, and I don't want to say they're cookie cutter because they're not, because they give you tons of design options, but the back end of it is kind of cookie cutter. It's got the set amount of plugins in it and this, that, and the other. So, you know, it's more like a product than that. And I do some coaching, but I never wanted to do VA work because I did do VA work for clients before in the past. And the control aspect, I want to be in control. They want to be in control. We have an issue.
Well, this is the thing about sharing tasks and control, right? Like, you know, as we grow our businesses, we want to do what we love, hire out what we hate, right? Sherry's saying she just started interviewing for a VA. Sherry, meet Wendy. Wendy, meet Sherry, to assist with creatives and research. And Mona's saying she had to jet because she is coworkers. I don't know what that's about. So
they're having a meeting in her office right now.
I know
they're interrupting her.
Right, that's terrible. My brother has hired a VA from the Philippines, and he's gone through 3 in the last 8 months. So, but he is dedicated, and also he had a hard time finding a full-time employee. Now, maybe that's because he has large expectations or something. I'm not sure, but it was really interesting that he's, puddle hops to find the right people for him. And they're on a different, like, I don't know if you guys know, but they're like, when it's daytime, it's night over there. So they're working nights, and that's crazy because I don't.
I work at night, but
You're
I
a funny
think
one.
that based on comments that I see in a lot of the virtual assistant groups, I'm just going to throw this out there. Keep in mind, you're going to get what you pay for.
You know what? Yeah.
If you're looking for cheap help, that is exactly what you're going to get.
Where's
Right. With hiring from people, you're looking at people that you're paying at, sure, the price is low. It's $5 or $6 an hour, sometimes $8. I've heard, and
I've seen some free.
when they were talking to me about hiring me as a VA, and they were saying, well, why would I hire you at your rates when I could pay $6.50 an hour? And I said exactly what you said. You're going to get what you pay for. Not only that, those people that are overseas, they're not really accustomed to our way of doing things and, interacting like I interact with some of my clients, if that makes sense, through emails and whatnot. And, the English has to be, good and that kind of thing. I can't be writing broken English emails to clients. That's not going to work. Right. So
I think it will depend on what services you need. Again, I will say that I did have somebody who offered to help, I guess, be a virtual assistant for some Facebook pages I manage. And because they weren't in the same city, they didn't know, for instance, here's a good example. We had a service of bike maintenance. They posted about bike maintenance in the winter because they don't have winter. So nobody's riding a bike and getting it maintained unless they're a diehard. So it wasn't something we would regularly post. So just little hiccups, right? If you're in an area where you work, you will know more about, especially if you're doing social media things. So
nuance, right?
I will say also, the triangle I talk about, that triangle, you can't get good, fast, and cheap. You can get fast and good, you can get fast and good. It won't be cheap. You can get good or fast and cheap, but it won't be good. So if you do that triangle, there's always one missing. It's a really great way to realize in business kind of what you're getting. I write it down so I don't screw it up all the time. But it is 2 minutes to, and we have to do our outro where we tell people where they can find us. We tell people if we have anything special coming up. And then we jet out of here because this is Geek Speak and this is the time today. I also want to give a big shout out to Jessica. Jessica is one of our regulars, and she's not here today because she's writing a book. I don't know about that noise, but
she's not writing a book. She's watching.
Oh yeah, but okay, yeah, she's taking time off. So next week we're gonna switch around the panel. There's gonna be different people and new people and old people. It's gonna be awesome. And on that note, I am Pip, and you can find me in the group or on my Facebook page, and you can also go to my website. I am offering get this, and if you're interested, PM me. I am offering a AdWords workshop in the next few weeks. You will hear more about that later on. And on Saturday in my Facebook group, I am doing my live video on the GDPR, which if you don't know what that is, you should. Anyway, that's me, over and out, and over to you, Wendy.
So I'm Wendy, and my company is Virtually Yours. You can find me at virtually-yours.ca. And so I will do my shameless plug here. I am also, it is launching this week. I am losing a lot of sleep trying to get the final details on this, but I am launching my course called Work Anywhere Virtual Entrepreneur, and it is about learning all the tools that you need in order to become an online entrepreneur. I don't say specifically a virtual assistant because there are all kinds of things, social media managers, online business managers, you name it. So it's all the tools that you need to get started. And you can go to workanywherevirtualentrepreneur.com. It is just about ready to be open, that site, and there'll be all the details from there, or you can PM me if you like.
Nice. All right, Greg.
Yep, I'm Greg with Original 72 Creative, and you can find us at original72.com. And like usual, I do not offer anything other than the amazing service that I already provide.
We love that. Right? So, and contact Greg. He makes fabulous websites and does cool other stuff.
Awesome graphics. He's really good at designing them.
Yeah, and some marketing stuff. Right there you go, Greg. We're plugging you. Yeah.
Thanks, ladies.
And Grim.
And I'm Grim, and you can find me at techwithgrim.com or in the Tech Lounge or Cyberpunk Geeks or on my page, Tech with Grim. I'm kind of all over the place on Facebook. I have launched my latest release, which is the Easy Peasy website that I've already mentioned a couple of times. And it is an easy way to get started on a website if you are not very tech savvy. They're affordable, and they do include your hosting and everything you need.
Wow. All right. So, and if you have questions for Grim or anyone else on the panel, go and PM them because everybody's got some rockin' services. We'll see you guys next week for our next topic. Oh my God, let me tell you the next topic. I'm sorry, I'm making this go overtime. The next topic is
Marketing strategy.
How do we figure it out? How do you figure it out? Let's talk about it. Okay.
We got Sherry Goodall joining us as a guest for next week's
We
topic.
do.
Yep.
And Grim will be here. I'll be here. Greg will be here. And then we'll see who's coming the week after that. But thank you so much, Wendy, for coming and sharing your expertise on this. This is awesome. And thank you for watching, everybody. And thank you, panelists, for being here. You're awesome. Bye.
Bye, everyone.